Are you a good friend? Hi guys, I'm Vivacious Hannah and welcome to this video. So like in my last video, I have a couple things to point out. Number one, I ended up switching my lighting and got this new lighting, which is now a ring light, which I absolutely love. So anyways, that's pretty exciting, and it kind of makes my background look pretty dark. I'm not exactly sure what to do about that. I'm gonna be playing around with this. I just hope you guys, I guess, like this new quality. And then the second thing I want to mention is, and it's funny that this is the second number, it's my 2-year YouTube anniversary. I've been on YouTube for 2 years as of technically Sunday, which was the 23rd, but close enough. Actually, Joanna tagged me in one of those Facebook memory flashback things. Just a couple of days ago, I was checking it. A year ago, I was at 100 subscribers and now I'm on my way to 1,000. How insane is that? It's just proof that God is working. Like, honestly, I cannot take any of the credit. It's just all God, and I'm so thankful. And I'm thankful to you guys for subscribing, because without you guys, I might not even have the courage to keep doing this. So thank you! Now this collab is gonna be with my longest online friend, Alexis, and I actually don't remember when we became friends, but I know it's been at least 4 years. So Alexis, thank you so much. I am so blessed by all that you do for me, by your encouragement and your support and your prayers. Y'all need to find a friend like her. And if you already have one, hang on to them. So we were kind of trying to figure out how we could do a collab on friendships, since I literally just did one a couple weeks ago. And it kind of dawned on me, like, when you think of friendships in the Bible, what's the first names that you think of? For me, it's David and Jonathan. So I suggested that maybe each of us take one of those characters and just kind of go over how they were a good friend and how we can be friends like them. So she is gonna take Jonathan and kind of go over how he was just an awesome, great, godly friend to David. So go ahead and check out her blog post. And yes, it is a blog post, not a video, but it's still gonna be awesome because I tell you guys, Alexis has such an awesome talent for writing. So then I have David. And it seems like most of the David and Jonathan story kind of focuses on what Jonathan's doing for David. You know, like, he helps him escape his crazy father, and, you know, he just befriends him, and it talks so much about what Jonathan does for David. So it kind of forced me to maybe be a little bit more creative with my ways to be a good friend, I guess. But I really think it's just as important to give as a friend as it is to receive as a friend. So that's actually the first thing I'm gonna be talking about, is that I'm pretty sure when David and Jonathan first met, like, David had already been anointed, and like Samuel had come to his house and did the anointing and everything. And forgive me if I'm wrong, it's been a couple months since I've read in 1st and 2nd Samuel, you know. And then Jonathan is just this revered and respected king's son, and yet Jonathan is just like, he sees something in David and he just wants so much to kind of expand on that and see, like, you know, can we be friends? I guess. I mean, this is me like thinking, what would I do if I were in that situation? So that promise of eventual royalty was his, but he still wasn't quite there yet. So for Jonathan to kind of bestow this like lavish friendship upon him, it's kind of hard to tell what David would have been like exactly, like what his response would have been, but I think a lot of him probably just had to like accept that, like, wow, how do I deserve this? And of course, I think that all the time with my friends, like, how do I deserve what they're doing for me? Like, I'm pretty sure I'm one of the worst friends out there because I don't get back to my friends over text for like at least 24 hours, right? I'm usually late with my birthday gifts. So I kind of like to think in this situation, David wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna get so much out of this friendship. Like, no, I like to think that it was a genuine connection. So you guys really have to be genuine in your friendships. And that was kind of a very roundabout way of saying that, wow. So then when Saul starts getting kind of mad at David, and Jonathan like plans, you know, how to help him, and then they're finally like going through the plan, it says in 1 Samuel 20:41 that David wept the most out of the two of them. So just imagine how sad that must have been. And to think that David cried the most, you know, it means that he allowed himself to feel these things in his friendship. He allowed himself to be vulnerable in front of his friend, and I think that's something that we need in our friendships. Be open to being vulnerable. And I remembered specifically when I was trying to do some research for this, which, side note, we don't have any Wi-Fi right now. It is completely out. Our internet is just not working, and I don't want to use all our data, so I was really just flipping through like 1st and 2nd Samuel, just skimming the pages for Jonathan and David, Jonathan and David. And then I remembered specifically that, spoiler alert, Jonathan dies in battle, and I just remember that David had like such a genuine reaction to it, and I just couldn't remember what exactly it was, so I found it, and it's in 2nd Samuel 1:19-27. Now, I'm not going to read all of it, but it is a beautiful lamentation about really the death of Saul and Jonathan, but I just really think it shows just how strong their friendship was. And of course, people like to argue that David and Jonathan were homosexuals, and of course there are so many arguments against that. I am not going to get into that debate, so if you guys leave any comments like, oh my gosh, they're totally gay, or oh my gosh, they're totally not, like, don't have beef in my comments, please. So during this lamentation, in verse 23, it says, Saul and Jonathan, beloved and lovely. They were swifter than eagles, they were stronger than lions. So he's really, even in their death, kind of praising them, but not like in the way that God's praised, like, you know, you're holy, you deserve my life, that kind of thing. He's just saying, you know, this is how they were, and I admire them for this. And of course, as friends, we should be doing that anyways, not just waiting until our friends start dying off and then be like, there's a bug in front of my face. No, we don't say that kind things about our friends. That's what I meant to say. So then in verse 25, he goes on to say, Jonathan lies slain on your high places. I am distressed for you, my brother Jonathan. Very pleasant have you been to me. Your love to me was extraordinary, surpassing the love of women. And of course, that's the verse that everyone starts going like, oh my gosh, really? But I'm not going to dive into that. So it's clear in this verse that Jonathan meant a great deal to David. So then when he says that Jonathan's love surpassed the love of women, I take that more in the sense of, you know, his wives, like he had so many wives, I feel like. And I'm sure there was drama between all of them, because if you have more than one wife, I'm pretty sure you can't not have drama. But then to have this one constant with Jonathan, you know, this constant friendship and encouragement and support system, like that's obviously going to mean a lot to him. So in friendships, it's so important to have that kind of flow of encouragement. And of course, I could probably be much more elaborate in all of this, but again, this is just me trying to do research without Wi-Fi, so I'm trying, you guys, because Google is my friend. And I'm sure there is so much that I missed in this, so if you guys have any comments to add about, you know, how David was a good friend to Jonathan, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and once again, check out Alexis's blog post, which I will be leaving in the description below. And go ahead and subscribe if you are interested in seeing more videos from me. Now, my eyes are getting tired from this light, so I think it's time that I go. So anyways, you guys know the drill. Go out there and make someone smile today. And be a good friend.